Marvel's Shang-Chi is almost with us, and with the release of the film comes the same age-old question in regards to everything in the MCU. Where in the timeline does it take place, and has it been officially confirmed by anybody? This time, the director directly tells us when the film takes place. Okay, so don't get pedantic with this. Don't be like, but there's flashbacks to the Mandarin and his conquest, so therefore it's a prequel. No, we're talking about the majority of the story. I know some people like to blow it out of context. Look, we're talking about when does Shang-Chi, the main story, him interacting with his father, and the majority of the film take place? When in the MCU timeline does it all chronologically fall? The director of the film did confirm that it does take place post-Avengers Endgame, meaning this is set in the timeline with WandaVision and everything that's happening around that same time. The director said, and I quote, "Shang-Chi is set in the present day in the MCU timeline, post-snap." And then he also added, "I think Shang-Chi is a cross between a classic kung fu film and a family drama, but it's also really funny." So there we go. It is what it is now with that. We know when it takes place. Now, the bigger question is going to be, does anything in Loki affect anything in this? And I think we won't know up until we see the film and know exactly where in the placement it is. Because Loki, again, is sort of ambiguous. Yes, it takes place after Endgame, but also it's all over the place, just like What If. So it's going to take, I think, a little bit of time to see how this all falls into place. Realistically, I think if they wanted to tie it all together to the bigger picture, maybe one of the post-credit scenes could be them there, and then we see the timeline fracture and all sorts of things happen, and we're like, wait, what's going on? Sort of like that ending of Infinity War, the ending of Ant-Man and the Wasp type of, oh my god, this is it, this is the next big thing. They could probably pull off something like that, but I think as a whole they want to have this a little bit more contained to itself, if that makes sense, for I think the strengths of the film, not having to bounce off of all the lore that's being built outside of it. It's not really important to the overall plot of this film, outside of the Mandarin's involvement through Iron Man 1, Iron Man 3, and the previous decades. But that's obviously for the film to explore further.